Welcome back to BNB Legal. While you may think that you know everything about a will under Indian law, but there are certain compliances of law which have to be kept in mind while you draft a will. At the same time, in this vlog, we'll also be learning about certain essentials of a will and how do you get it registered. The term will, as we know of it in the common usage, stands for determination or willingness. It also stands for volition and expressed intent. The word is generally used to express desire, choice, willingness, or consent. It stands for negative constructions such as refusal to. When I talk of will in legal terminology, it means a legally executed written instrument by which person makes disposition of his or her estate to take effect after his death. It has also been defined under Indian Succession Act as the legal declaration of the intention of a testator with respect to his property which he desires to be carried out into effect after his death. The Indian Succession Act 1925 provides for making of a will by a Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh or a Jain. Any movable or immovable property can be disposed of by means of a will. It becomes operative only after the death of the testator. The concept of Wasiyat as seen under Muslim law differs from the provisions of Hindu Succession Act and Indian Succession Act. Now that we are discussing about will, the first and foremost question that we should take into account is that who can make a will? Now, any person who has attained an age of majority, which is 18 years or above, can make a will. At the same time, he should not be an insolvent and should have a sound state of mind. Persons who are deaf, dumb or blind can make a will provided they understand the consequence of the action. A person who is ordinarily insane can make a will only during his lucid interval. A will made in an unconscious or hampered state of mind does not stand valid. There are certain things which have to be kept in mind while making a will. A will can be made on a plain piece of paper and a stamp paper is not required for the same. It is also important to note that a will should be executed in the presence of two independent witnesses who are competent to contract. The witnesses must attest the will in the presence of the testator and each other. A will should describe the properties well which have been stated there. The signatures of the testator should be put in such a way as it gives effect to the entire writing of the will. Also note that a will or any part of will, the making of which has been caused by fraud or coercion, does not stand valid. Draft or write a will. It is supposed to contain an opening about the personal details of the testator, including his name, age, residential address, name, age and address of his spouse and children. The body of the will should introduce all Class 1 legal heirs. All movable and immovable properties should also be put in there. There should be an expression as to how have they been procured and to what extent does the testator hold a share or interest in them. The name of each beneficiary to the will should be added in. The ending contains the declaration to the free will of the testator and the absence of any pressure, duress or coercion. At least two witnesses shall attest the will by placing their thumbprints or signatures along with their names and address at the end of the will. In case of a registered will, the witnesses will have to accompany the testator during the process of registration. The signature of the testator will have to be put in the end of the will in order to give effect to the writing. It is now important to discuss about registration of will. First of all, it is to be noted that registration of will is not mandatory. The registration is governed by the Registration Act 1908. A will can be registered at the office of the registrar or the sub-registrar as the case may be. It is also important to keep in mind that one of the witnesses to the will have to accompany the testator to the office. Some of the advantages which a registered will has include that the will cannot be easily tampered with. Its likelihood of being challenged on the grounds of fraud, force or coercion drastically reduced. At the same time, the will is assumed to be valid unless proven otherwise. A safe record of the will is maintained with the office of the registrar and this can be referred to for all the future purposes. The testator and the witness should carry their identity proofs and the address proofs to the office. After registration, a copy of the will should be kept with the testator and also be entrusted with the person who will be the announcer of the will after the demise of the testator. We support an individual's right to property and encourage people to carefully bestow their properties and assets upon their loved ones. In this video, you'll also find various descriptions which would help you in registering and drafting a will. For more such videos and vlogs, you can log into www.bnblegal.com and you can also subscribe to your YouTube channel.